5 secrets every powerful man keeps from women. She'll never see you the same. Old Stoic wisdom. There was a man named Lucius, a figure of quiet authority, whose presence commanded respect without the need for words. He wasn't the loudest in the room, nor the most flamboyant. What set him apart was a calm, almost otherworldly confidence that women could sense even in silence. This was not arrogance or bravado, it was a quiet strength, the kind of power a man must learn to wield with wisdom and restraint. Lucius had once been like any other young man in love, eager to share every piece of his soul. His first great love, Elena, had captured his heart when he was in his early 20s. In the heady rush of passion, he laid bare his thoughts, his ambitions, and his vulnerabilities. He shared not only his dreams, but also his doubts, his fears, and his deepest regrets. He believed this was the path to true connection, that honesty would forge a deeper bond between them. But what he didn't know then was that love, while requiring honesty, also demands strength and mystery. As he revealed more and more of himself, Elena's admiration began to fade. She seemed to lose her attraction, and her respect for him waned. The more he exposed himself emotionally, the more she began comparing him to other men, those who were less open, less transparent, and perhaps less fragile. Lucius was devastated, confused by her response, until one day, the relationship quietly ended, leaving him broken and questioning what had gone wrong. Rather than chase after her or try to convince her of his worth, Lucius chose a different path. He withdrew, retreating into solitude for 2 years. During that time, he studied the wisdom of the ancients, focusing especially on the teachings of the Stoics, men who understood the delicate balance between strength and vulnerability. They knew that a man who gave too much of himself to the world risked losing his inner power. When Lucius returned to the world, he was no longer the same man. His heart still beat with passion, but it was tempered with purpose. He had learned that a man must guard certain aspects of himself, things that should remain hidden, even from those closest to him. Through his own experiences, he came to understand 5 key things every man must keep from a woman if he is to maintain his strength and her respect. As the great philosopher Seneca once said, "A man who is brave is not one who lacks fear, but one who knows how to act despite it." And it is in this quiet strength, this mystery, that a powerful man finds his true power. He loves deeply, but does not give away his soul. He shares wisdom, but not every thought. He is open, but he is not an open book. A true man knows what to reveal, and more importantly, what to keep hidden. First, revealing vulnerabilities at the wrong time shows weakness. A powerful man knows how to manage his vulnerabilities in ways that most women will never truly understand. It's not about pretending to be invincible, but rather choosing when and how to reveal your deepest fears. Take, for instance, a moment when everything seems to be going wrong, maybe a work crisis or a personal loss, something that shakes you to the core. You can feel the anxiety building up inside, but instead of letting it out recklessly, you hold it in. You recognize that the weight you carry isn't something you should burden her with in the heat of the moment. If you start unloading every doubt and fear on her right, then it doesn't make you seem more human. It makes you seem unsteady. A woman might start to wonder, can I rely on him in the long run? You might even notice her backing away, not because she doesn't care, but because she needs the man who can lead through the storm, not drown in it. Let's say you're at a family gathering, and suddenly an old issue surfaces that stirs up uncomfortable emotions. It's tempting to vent, to let your guard down and be open about the past, but doing so in that setting would only cause tension and confusion. She might not see it as vulnerability, instead, she'll see someone who doesn't know when to keep things to himself. Imagine being at a romantic dinner with her, and you start talking about a deep fear or insecurity about your future. In that moment, you've made her the therapist instead of your partner. You've shifted the focus away from shared joy to your personal turmoil, making it harder for her to feel secure in the relationship. Women crave a sense of stability, and when you present your emotional vulnerabilities without consideration for the moment, You risk making her question your strength, your ability to handle life's challenges. Now, picture a situation where everything's calm, and perhaps you're out on a quiet walk together. This is the moment. You can show her your vulnerability, but only after you've earned the right to, after you've created the emotional foundation where you can safely expose your fears without shaking her trust in you. You must be strategic. Be selective. This is the difference between being emotionally available and being emotionally reckless. You must never forget that being vulnerable at the wrong moment is more than just a poor decision. It undermines the very qualities that make you attractive to her in the first place. She wants to see you as someone who can hold it all together when it matters. Only then will your vulnerability add to the depth of your connection, not weaken it. Be the man who knows the right moment to be vulnerable, and the world will never see you the same again. Keep those deepest vulnerabilities in check, and they'll become the secret to your power, something she'll never fully grasp but will always admire. Second, his complete financial situation. Do not, under any circumstances, lay bare the full details of your financial standing, whether you're barely scraping by or sitting on a mountain of wealth. Keep it to yourself. Here's why a woman should fall in love with the essence of who you are, your values, your character, the way you carry yourself, and your vision for the future, not the contents of your bank account or the car you drive. That's where power lies. The moment she knows exactly what's in your wallet, something shifts, her perception of you changes. The dynamic between you will never be the same. When a woman understands the true depth of your wealth or struggles, you hand her a tool to measure you by, and that is a dangerous game to play. You must maintain control of how you're seen, not just in the physical world, but in the internal world, where the heart truly resides. Imagine for a moment if she knows too much about your financial standing. Her expectations may rise or fall, and her affection could waver in ways that are beyond your control. It's not about dishonesty, it's about protecting the essence of who you are as a man. You don't want her loving you for your wallet or your bank balance. You want her to love the person inside. The thing is, you're not just a paycheck. You are a story in motion, a man of depth and complexity, someone who offers more than what is visible. Let's face it, women have a tendency to judge, sometimes unconsciously, based on the material. That's the truth of it. When they know every detail about your finances, whether it's a fortune or a struggle, the way they perceive you will always come with conditions. Do I have enough? Am I getting what I deserve? These are the questions that creep in. You don't want to be loved for how much you have, but for who you are. That is the secret of powerful men. Think about it. Don't allow the weight of your financial situation to define your worth. Don't let money or lack of it become the measure of your power. A woman's love should be untainted by such things. When you let her see too much, when you offer too much information, it changes the power dynamic. You have to keep some mystery. You must be more than just a paycheck to her. Your strength lies in your essence. Your true power is the invisible force she can't touch, but feels deeply. Now, I'm not saying you should hide everything. No, transparency is key in any strong relationship. But there are certain secrets you must hold tightly, and your finances are one of them. Keep it vague. Keep it simple. Let her love you for your mind, your spirit, your dedication to something bigger than money. Because when a woman knows your finances too well, she may start to think you owe her something, whether it's in gifts, lifestyle, or expectations. And that's where love starts to get complicated. You must guard this secret fiercely. Your wealth, whatever it is, shouldn't be the foundation of her feelings toward you. It should not dictate the way she loves you, nor should it be the metric by which she measures your worth. A man of power knows that the essence of his being is his greatest asset. That is the golden rule of keeping your power intact. So, next time the topic of money comes up, whether it's a casual chat or a deep conversation, be mindful. Be deliberate in what you reveal. Don't give her access to your financial secrets. Guard them with care, for once they are out in the open, things change. A woman should love the man, not his wallet. She should admire your determination, your ambition, your strength, and your unwavering belief in something greater than money. Don't let your financial situation define you, and don't let it define how she feels about you. That is a game you'll never win. Remember, these powerful men keep their financial lives as guarded as their hearts. If you want to maintain your allure, your power, and your mystery, let her fall for you. Not for what you have, but for what you are. Third, don't reveal all your plans and steps. A man, a truly powerful man, understands that revealing every move, every plan, every next step weakens his power. It diminishes the mystique that makes him intriguing, that makes him compelling. Never let a woman predict your next action. Do not let her feel as though she can see into your soul, as though your mind is an open book. Mystery is your weapon, and unpredictability is your shield. The more you leave out, the more you highlight what you leave in, said Robert Frost. This is the essence of powerful living. Keep your next move hidden and watch as her interest flourishes. It's the uncertainty, the lack of predictability, that keeps her drawn to you. Let her try to read you, but never allow her to succeed. Women are naturally attuned to details, and the more you give, the more you drain the excitement of the chase. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you must reveal your entire path, your intentions, your goals. No, you must show her the strength of your character, not through words, but through action, mystery, and the careful discipline of restraint. You must master the art of leaving questions unanswered, of creating curiosity rather than satisfying it. As the Stoics have taught, the greatest wealth is to live content with little. The same applies to your personal life and relationships. The more you withhold, the more valuable you become. You become the treasure she never fully understands. And this sense of mystery is not a game. It's an essential part of who you are. To truly be powerful, you must be able to move through the world with purpose, to shape your future without letting anyone know what that future is. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain said, "Let your life be a testament to that principle. Take action without always needing approval or recognition. Reveal your path only when it's been paved, not before." When you act in this way, with purpose and precision, women will see you not only as a man of strength, but a man of purpose, one who knows what he wants and goes after it with unwavering resolve. Don't give her every detail of your life. The journey becomes meaningless when it's already been revealed. You see, the powerful man knows how to balance visibility and mystery. By keeping her on her toes, you fuel the fire of attraction. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln said, and that's exactly what you must do. Create a future that she can only begin to imagine. Do not fall victim to the trap of sharing every thought, every goal, every plan. Leave space for the imagination to wander, for her curiosity to burn. When she's unsure of your next move, she can't help but remain fascinated. But the moment you reveal everything, you destroy that spark. Don't confuse vulnerability with weakness. There is strength in silence, strength in restraint. Keep your intentions close to your chest. Control the narrative. Lead the dance. Never follow it. The moment she knows exactly what you're going to do, your power fades. Never forget this. Power is not about brute force, nor is it about conquering every battle. It's about mastery over your own life and, equally important, mastery over the minds of those around you. The secret: don't let anyone feel as though they've figured you out. Maintain an aura of unpredictability. Leave people guessing. In the realm of love, attraction, and relationships, mystery is your ally. The more you withhold, the stronger you become. The more you reveal, the more mundane you appear. You must remain just out of reach, yet so powerful that when you do decide to reveal something, it carries immense weight. Let her see you as an enigma, a puzzle she must solve, but one that keeps slipping through her fingers. You can never afford to give away too much. Never make her feel as though she knows what comes next in your life. She should never feel as though your mind is open for business. As the saying goes, the best revenge is massive success. Frank Sinatra once said, "In the context of your relationship, this means keeping your plans to yourself until they're fully realized. The more she tries to guess, the more captivated she becomes. Don't make it easy for her. Don't make it easy for anyone. Control your moves, control the narrative, and watch as they're drawn to your power. When you've mastered the art of restraint, you've mastered the art of influence. Let your journey unfold before her eyes only when you've already walked it. Lead with action. Let your success speak for itself. And let's be clear, mystery does not mean dishonesty. It means strategic self-preservation. You must show what's necessary, nothing more. Your mind is a fortress, and your emotions are sacred. Don't share them freely. Build your value piece by piece, quietly, powerfully. Don't rush to reveal every thought, every ambition, every success. Let her discover you slowly, like peeling back layers of an intriguing mystery. Only when the time is right, only when you've earned her respect and admiration, should you reveal the depth of your plans. Until then, let the unpredictable path be the one you walk. Fourth, his emotional dependence. In the world of powerful men, there exists a crucial, often unspoken secret that they'll never reveal to the women they care about his emotional independence. It's not that he doesn't love her, or that he's incapable of feeling deeply. Quite the opposite. In fact, he loves her with a passion that is fierce and unyielding, his devotion unwavering. But there's something far more profound at play. The powerful man understands that emotional dependence, no matter how subtle, is the antithesis of strength. And so, while he can love her with everything he has, he must never need her to complete him. He can't rely on her for his sense of self-worth, nor should she ever believe that his happiness hinges on her presence. The moment a woman senses that he cannot function without her, that he leans on her emotionally in such a way that it feels as though his world would crumble without her, the dynamic shifts. It's not a conscious realization at first, but she will begin to feel an invisible weight, a burden. She'll carry the weight of his existence, as if her role in the relationship has shifted from a lover and companion to a caretaker and emotional support system. This is the tipping point, the moment when she starts to feel like the anchor to his drifting ship, the one who holds the entire structure of his emotional world together. And this, my friend, is when the attraction begins to die a slow and painful death. Why does this happen? Because a man who is emotionally dependent is no longer the man who exudes strength, power, and mystery. Instead, he's transformed into someone who relies on her validation, who seeks constant reassurance that he is loved, that he is enough. This is the vulnerability that can be both seductive and suffocating. And it's precisely this neediness that begins to erode the foundation of their relationship. A powerful man knows that attraction is born from independence, from the ability to stand alone without falling apart. The key to maintaining a woman's interest, her respect, and her desire is not to lean on her for emotional support. It's to stand on his own, solid and unshaken, whether she's by his side or not. Be the man who loves deeply but never falls into emotional dependence. Be the man who shows his love through actions, through unwavering commitment, but never through desperation. Emotional dependence is a silent killer, an invisible poison that slowly seeps into the relationship, tainting everything it touches. Women are drawn to strength, to a man who knows himself, who is confident in his identity and his place in the world. When a man relies on a woman to fulfill his emotional needs, he inadvertently gives her the power to shape his happiness, and that shift in power can be incredibly unattractive. She will eventually feel the weight of that responsibility. She will wonder, consciously or unconsciously, whether she is carrying the entire emotional load of the relationship, and that thought will slowly chip away at the respect she has for him. The powerful man, therefore, understands that emotional independence is not just a choice, it's a necessity. It's a rule he lives by, a cornerstone of his power and allure. He remains emotionally self-sufficient, capable of navigating the world on his own, of weathering storms without needing someone else to hold him up. This doesn't mean he's emotionally unavailable or detached. It means he's emotionally stable, grounded in his own sense of identity, and capable of thriving on his own. He loves, he shares, he supports, but he does so from a place of strength, not need. That's the real secret, The moment a man becomes emotionally dependent, he begins to lose his power. And once that happens, she'll see him differently. The woman who once saw him as a pillar of strength will begin to see him as fragile, as someone who needs her more than he's willing to admit. And that shift, that loss of emotional autonomy, will begin to erode everything they've built together. If a man cannot stand on his own emotionally, if he cannot find strength within himself, regardless of whether she's by his side, then he is no longer the powerful man she once found so captivating. So, you must understand this. The powerful man is never one who falls into the trap of emotional dependence. He is always whole, always grounded, always self-sufficient. He loves her, yes, but he does not need her to complete him. That is the key to his power, to his allure. Don't ever forget that. Be that man who is strong enough to carry his own weight, who doesn't ask anyone to bear the burden of his emotional existence. Be the man who is whole, no matter what. The woman will see that, and it will change the way she sees you forever. Fifth, his entire past. Every powerful man understands that his past, while shaping him, is not a book for everyone to read. His journey is his alone to navigate, filled with lessons, growth, and, yes, mistakes. But not every sin, misstep, or regret must be laid bare. The truth is, some parts of his history are meant for reflection, not for judgment. A man who understands this keeps control over his narrative. He doesn't need to share everything, especially those parts of his past that could undermine his strength, cause doubt, or weaken his connection with others. His history is not a weight to carry around and share freely. Instead, it is a well of knowledge and power that only needs to be tapped into when necessary. His life is a mosaic of triumphs and failures, and only the pieces that build up his present self and strengthen his relationship with her should be offered. Too many men fall into the trap of over-explaining, oversharing, or seeking validation for their past mistakes. But the truth is simple. Not every story needs to be told, and not every secret needs to be exposed. You must understand this deeply. The past is not a burden. It is a tool that, when wielded wisely, can propel you forward, but when handled poorly, it can become a chain that holds you back. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing, said Henry Ford. That is the secret to mastery, to use your past as a source of wisdom, not weakness. The key is to share what will benefit the relationship and leave the rest in the past where it belongs. Don't let your history define you. What defines you is how you use what you've learned from it. There are many chapters of your life that have shaped you, but that doesn't mean they need to be open to her, to anyone. Let your past stay a source of power, a well from which you draw the strength to become the man you are today. In modern life, we are often encouraged to overshare, to be open about everything, to confess our faults, and to be vulnerable in ways that can sometimes expose us to harm. But true power lies in discretion. A powerful man is not afraid of vulnerability, but he knows that there is a time and place for everything. He doesn't need to confess every regret or every mistake. He doesn't need to unload all his history onto her, especially if it risks creating doubt or insecurity. The past is not a burden to share. It is a foundation that supports who you are now. What you've learned, the strength you've gained, that's what you should offer. Not the failures that won't serve your relationship. Not the moments that might only serve to confuse or harm. Your history is not a confession booth. It's a treasure chest. Protect it, open it when needed, and share only the parts of it that will enrich your life and your relationships. You need to remember this: women are drawn to strength, not weakness. When you reveal too much, when you share too many details about your past, you risk shifting the dynamic. What she sees in you should be a man who has faced adversity, learned from it, and grown stronger, not a man who is constantly weighed down by his past, who wears his regrets like a badge of shame. A man who has never made a mistake, never tried anything new, said Albert Einstein. That's true. Mistakes are part of life, but they are also part of your personal growth. Don't let them define you. Don't let them control how you're seen. You must be in control of your story, not the other way around. You decide what is shared, when it's shared, and with whom, only share what will make you both stronger. Anything else should stay in the past, where it belongs. If you want to be seen as a powerful man, you need to master your past. There are parts of your journey that will never be understood by others. And that's perfectly fine. You are not required to explain every mistake, every failure, every lesson learned. You don't owe anyone a deep dive into your history. What matters now is who you are today, how you've grown, and what you can offer. The man who understands this maintains control over his narrative, and that is the most powerful position a man can hold. Silence is a source of great strength, said Lao Tzu. When you don't feel the need to constantly explain yourself, when you don't feel the urge to confess every detail, you retain your power. There's no need to expose all of yourself. What you need to do is share what will make you stronger, and what will make her see you as the man you want to be. You must master your past. Own it, but not let it own you. Let your strength come from your present and your future, not from dragging around every piece of history that no longer serves you. Women will see you for who you are now, not for who you were. But if you're not careful, if you share too much, you risk being seen through the lens of your past, and that can change everything. Don't make that mistake. Be intentional. Be wise. Hold your power close. Guard your past. Let it fuel your future. This is how you become the man who shapes his destiny. This is how you create a life where you are in control. Share only what will make you both stronger. Anything else, leave it in the past. Lucius understood something most men miss. True power isn't about constantly showing everything you have. It's about knowing when to hold back. He embraced this principle, not out of fear or insecurity, but as a way to protect the most sacred part of himself, the kingdom of his soul. The more he mastered discipline, the more he realized that silence isn't weakness. It's a deliberate strategy, a choice that speaks volumes. Women began to pursue him not because of deception or manipulation, but because they could sense a quiet confidence that came from the mastery of his own mind and actions. He had learned that self-control doesn't equate to coldness or distance. Rather, it is the mark of a man who knows his worth. You must understand that withholding certain truths is not about lying, but about wielding wisdom with intention. Every powerful man knows this. It's not the secrets you reveal that make you irresistible, but the ones you keep, carefully, deliberately. You must never mistake silence for weakness, nor should you believe that sharing everything is a sign of closeness. There's strength in restraint. Be the man who speaks less but carries more. That is the key. Let women wonder. Let them be drawn in by the mystery you create, not through deceit, but through the power of your own self-control. When you learn the art of withholding, you not only gain power over yourself, but you also draw others to you in ways you've never imagined. The right balance of openness and restraint makes you unforgettable. Amir didn't need to say much. His actions spoke louder, and the quiet mastery he carried became the very thing that women couldn't resist. Don't underestimate the power of what you choose not to share. It will make them see you in a light they can't forget.